Hi, Pisces. How was your trip and transformation? Many of you did travel and you changed something about the way you look. Hope that turned out well. Anyway, thank you for revisiting and welcome to new viewers. And thank you so much for your patience as this particular Mercury retrograde has disrupted my schedule with an emergency family trip, my computer going bonkers, and tech and internet issues while I'm here away from home. I do hope it's been treating you guys a little bit better. Okay, um, and I did ditch the AI voice to give you a little bit more personable of a summary. So, in any case, I'll stop whining and get straight into this. In this video, I will give you your main theme of September. Then I will summarize some of September's major planetary dynamics and how that may affect you. I'll do a quick revisit of a couple of astrological events in the past since we have retrograde planets and some repeating aspects. And finally, a couple of things to look forward to in the future. First, and in general, I've titled September as the Hurry Up and Wait month. Um, Mainly because we have the retrograde planets and and it's just like the end of summer, lazy, just like August's laid back approach. Pisces, it is all about your former, present, or future partner. So your phone calls, texts, emails, and focus is regarding your seventh house of marriage, business partners, contracts, open enemies, and the House of Mirrors. It's called the House of Mirrors mainly because your partner holds up a mirror to you. So, for example, if your partner is mad at you, it is not really it's you that is mad at yourself. Or if your partner is loves you, it's really because you love yourself and your partners reflect that. So I just wanted to explain what House of Mirrors is. um, but in any case, Pisces, particularly um, the seventh house, and this time this is about a twosome coupling or a disagreement, detachment, or a divide. The is in Virgo now, and it is shining a spotlight on your partnerships. It is asking you, how do you like this? How is it going? We also had a super blue moon the end of August in your sign. It is a 1-to-1 ratio. Half of you are in a feud, while the other half are deeply, madly attached. Or if it's about business partners, you can attach the same um, sentiment. What communications and agreements are the issue? For the half of you in a feud, it started about August 8th, and if by the super blue moon in your sign you did not split, then you may have agreed to disagree and temporarily split. Um, or everybody went to their corners. Whatever ending, though, that may have occurred with you guys, the discussion goes on till the end of September, as there is no closure, because he or she are still trying to coordinate information that has started, stopped, rewound, and stopped once more. Because the email failed, maybe the line was dropped when you were at a distance and Skyping, or the text went to the wrong party, or it just never made it back from the satellite and to your partner. You are a very compassionate sign, Pisces. Even when something ends, and even when you're not so nice, when your not so nice side flashes out of the blue, you do care, and that is why the conversations will continue. For those of you who are head over heels or in strong partnerships or relationships, it is about conflicting schedules and maybe even regarding children, maybe because of a new career, opportunity that takes one of you away, and you may be negotiating who gives up their career, maybe for the other, so you can like be together as a family. Like I mentioned, family is really important to you, or how to work out scheduling and who will be home for the kiddos. Or it can simply be maybe you are Jewish and he or she is Christian, Muslim, or Buddhist, and you're trying to decide whether to tie the knot, and it'll be a mazel tov, a mosque, or a temple wedding. Or it could be the stress and angst of one of you going away to school or military and trying to be creative with how you will handle your long distance relationship, the communication that is, and the intimacy. Um, and finally, it could be your artistic vision is seen as impractical and maybe too expensive by your business partner. Suffice to say, the loop de loop the two of you are experiencing is Mercury in Virgo doing its loop around there. Mercury does station direct mid month and will start delivering the right information, as well as both of you will start understanding what is being said between you. However, yes, there's always a however. Mercury will not clear its shadow retrograde. It will not be clear of its shadow retrograde until the end of the month. So, if you think you have settled it with ditching plan A for B, do still have plan C because it may change or need to be tweaked in some way by the end of the month. Or there may be a cancellation when Mercury finally clears its shadow um, at the end of the month in Virgo, retrograde shadow rather. So just give yourself more time and space and afford the same to your partners. Now, let us explore further what other factors may be affecting this duel or duet. duet. Sorry. Well, there is good news because we do have a beautiful new Virgo moon coming up on the 14th, which again is your seventh house of partners. So, what am I doing? Oh, my my notes. Sorry. Um, we'll explore the other factors a little bit later on, but let me tell you about this new moon. Again, it is a ratio thing here, but with an outside aspect that is helping those that are looking at a split. So keep that in mind. This new moon in Virgo is somewhat of a life changer in some way for you, Pisces. On or about this new moon, some of you will meet a new potential partner, or you have met them and you will talk um, about it at the new moon. And this will be a serious, and maybe this partner may be a serious contender for marriage or a business contender for a long time to come. And I will explain why a long time a little later. For those who are tying the knot or getting into a business partnership, it is on this new moon that something very exciting regarding your partnership will start. What is that new thing? It really depends on your personal charts and where Virgo falls, at what degrees, and what other planets or house it is aspecting. For those of you who are amicably splitting, this new moon is an agreement regarding your partnership with the children, maybe, or a new contractual agreement. Perhaps partners or you buying each other, or the other out of the business you're running together. I'm talking about the splitting part. Or splitting royalties or no royalties, but dividends, etc., etc., and etc., as the king said in The King and I. For those of you who are in a feud but don't want to split, and this can extend to your business partners, you have the Master Negotiator series in Libra, the ruler of partnerships, forcing a compromise that will be very suitable for both of you. And Libra, you know, it's the sign of the scale, so it'll be fair for both, or hope for both. Um, but the secret with Libra is you have to balance your own scales, your own psyche before you can balance it with someone else. But you have Ceres here helping out. Um, and I will break this further down a little bit later, but let me explain why I said this new Virgo moon will be a life changer for maybe a long time to come. Um, well, first, it is a life changer, obviously, because it is your seventh house of partners. So that's pretty huge. Second, and if you're old enough, every so many years, the Virgo new moon brings in a change with your partners, either solidifying them further or changing them completely to new ones, maybe, or revamping troubled ones so that they almost feel new. Especially if in the same year the outer planets change signs like they did earlier this year. Namely, Pluto and Uranus changed signs in March, April, and since the North and South nodes just kicked into Aries and Libra respectively, the nodes are also bringing back karma from 18, 19 years ago. So you had a Virgo new moon and maybe a new relationship, new partnership, new business venture, or your existing one. Something changed about it back when Pluto and Uranus changed signs, and that was 2010, 2011. Um, Back then, some of you, it may have been 2012 through 2013 when it was like the midpoint. Anyway, it was pretty significant then, and this new moon is just as powerful. And anything new or a change will reverberate through the future too for a good long time. And full disclosure rather, it all depends on your natal chart, so don't forget that. The only other thing to note here is just be on top of any health issues because Virgo natally does rule the house of health, habits, and routines. So if you yourself or your partners are stressing about something about this house, then take care of your own health and your psyche. Anyway, by the end of the month, the full story here will be complete and issues should conclude and start smoothing out, as Venus will finally leave Leo alone and go into Virgo. So patience is the key word. Now, for a further breakdown on what other factors may be in play regarding this wishy-washy duo or dreamy duet. Wishy-washy, I only threw in wishy-washy because you're a water sign, and I felt I needed to go there. All right. So I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but the seventh house problems are stressful for people. So I want to be thorough and it may reverberate with you guys. For the happily attached Pisces, you can put it on speed up or surpass and go on to the retrograde planet section or just enjoy the art and put me on mute. um, all right, so let's consider the other factors involved. So here's the breakdown. Venus entered Leo in July this year. Leo natally rules, um, or is considered the father figure, and rules the fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, and gambling. And gambling can refer to, casino gambling or poker or whatever, but it can also be like, you take a gamble in life on a situation or something. Venus brings love, money, beauty, attraction, and goodwill. Venus rules the zodiac signs of Taurus and Libra. Leo is your sixth house of health, habits, routine, schedule, service to others, and gossip. And not most, but a good chunk of Pisces um, job or career does involve service to others in some capacity. Maybe hospital, you're a nurse or caretaker, something like that, or you're whatever it is, but some of you do service to others. Okay, getting back, Taurus. So remember, I said Venus rules. Um, yeah, I said it earlier, but you may not have remember. So Taurus is your third house of communication, social media, commuting, siblings, and neighborhood. Venus also rules Libra, which is your eighth house of sex, death, and taxes. And we just titled this house that, but sex here, I mean, it can mean sex, but sex here really is about intimacy, but really true intimacy, like bearing your soul to the other. Death, this house can be the house of literal death, but no astrologer can predict literal death. So death here, I'm expressing allegorical, like an ending of something and a beginning of something new. So a true transformation. And then taxes. The eighth house is the house where you benefit from other people's money. So partners' income, an inheritance, will, trust, gifts, lump sums of money, like maybe class action suits or something. Um, I mentioned gifts and things like that. Anything government related money, maybe. Um, so all that, or it can be even taxes. But that is Libra rules that house for you. And if you have any Virgo degrees, then something regarding your sixth house of health and habits, and somehow love and children were also involved. But this was being done in secret or behind the scenes, or regarding spirituality, or what have you, for some reason. So I'll go into the examples. One clear possibility could have been maybe your child or adult child could have been having relationship issues and you were mediating or helping in some way, but you or they did not want to make it public. This could have also included keeping it secret from your partner, maybe. And you were stressing out and it extended to stressing your own relationships. That could be a scenario. Another scenario may have been an inheritance or money you received or a gift through family, because many Pisces were receiving money towards the end of July or August, rather. Um, where was I? Receiving money. And you didn't want to reveal it to maybe other family members or again, maybe your partners, and that created an issue. Or you and your partner were keeping your romance secret from your own family. Um, Not necessarily your husband, but your lover, or, but a true partner, because the house of love and romance is completely different from the house of partners. Or it could just be a simple family move that you kept hidden because you knew it would upset your partner or business partner and thought that somehow it would fix itself in the end. And why I mentioned this, because after all, you are Pisces, the two fishes swimming in opposite directions. You may say one thing but do another, and you are very idealistic, almost like a Sagittarius, not really caring for the practicality of the details. You set up a dreamy scenario, which, has its purpose. Just a reminder, Virgo, though, is all about the details. Um, and Pisces tend to disappear for a period of time. And it is usually, you tend to gravitate towards body of water or pool or water related areas just to hear yourself think inside and to recharge your batteries. But this can be misinterpreted by not only your partners, but your family too. So you really need to be on top of that. Okay, and also the other factor that could be, you know, affecting this is the North and South nodes, which are karmic in energy. And I mentioned they're in Aries and Libra, respectively. And the karma is from 18, 19 years ago. So I broke it down so you can get a picture of the picture I'm getting at seeing the astrology behind it. Um, and if you, because I did throw a lot at you, and you may not know what's going on. If you'd like, you can repeat it and maybe slow it down and re-listen to it. Anyway, final decisions are not final. Attitudes are may still be tender, and there may be one or more little spats, reviews, or need for a resolution by the end of the month and into early October, when Venus will start behaving like her lovely self again, um, because she can be fussy when she's retrograde. She can be a drama queen. So still be on your guard and have patience regarding your sixth house of health and habits, because that's where the retrograde of Venus was. Only disclosure is, again, be careful of secrets. They never stay secret. Only your hidden self stays that way because no one can control that. But anyone associated with your hidden self, um, or they know your secrets, it can come out. Okay, on to Pluto. I'm mentioning Pluto because there is an aspect and a theme regarding Pluto in Capricorn this month. Plus, Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn. And some people say, it's retrograde, it's going to be an easy ride. And yes, for the most part, it is. And especially if you've heeded the lesson that Pluto was trying to teach you about partners in this go around. Um, Let me just stop and get a drink of water. I'll be right back. Um, okay, but for those of you who, haven't really done the work mm, when it was going direct, a retrograde plate, oh, a retrograde planet um, can be even more powerful because they are not skimming the surface, but they are digging in and under. And there's a reason that it goes retrograde over those aspects, over that dynamic or information. Sorry about that. Because there is unfinished business from the first go around or loose ends to tie up. For you, Pisces, Capricorn is your 11th house of friends, group of friends, associations, social network, your hopes, wishes, and dreams. And Pluto is all about power, control, and the fear that comes along with that power and control. Maybe, some people are scared to step into that power or control. Capricorn is all about steadfast, reliable, prestige, old money, government, authority, and slow and steady wins the race. Pluto has been in Capricorn for 15 years now, so you are used to this energy. And I explained in my August videos that you may have had like really powerful friends. They could have been in government, or they could have had some type of authority role, um, but they were on the strict and narrow more. They were very practical, and sometimes that you and them did clash, but you feared them for some reason, or um, maybe they had some kind of control over you. In any case, that was the setup was only to teach you how to how to step into your own power. But getting back to this aspect, late last year, December, through to March, April of this year, something, a surprising or maybe even jolting shift happened where whatever was controlling or constraining, um, regarding your 11th house suddenly became not so. Um, Divorces, marriage, separation, promotions, demotions, lateral shifts. People could have retired, moved, or they just poof disappeared and freed you and others from any constraints or fears regarding your 11th house of groups and friends and aspirations. Um, and since Pluto transits are life altering and transformative, um, something of a rebirth. You felt that, but I've explained that. And of course, the people who go through Pluto transits become an expert, like the student surpassing the professor. So, when this shift and reshufflement happened in your 11th house, you may have lost a friend, excuse me, and you could have either felt relief or extremely sad, but you felt confident to step into your learned power of being a powerful friend and mentor to maybe others, or a new friend, or just a group of friends. Maybe you became the leader. In any case, the dynamics, argument, agreements, and information, or what have you, that occurred between December last year and March, April of this year regarding your 11th house, the consequences of what was said and done are reverberating somehow this month. Plus, there is an aspect to Pluto retrograde in Capricorn also this month. But I will discuss that when I go through your September lineup. So, a note, we're going to go on to retrograde planets. Um, so, a note on retrograde planets. It is very important to pay attention to when they station, direct or retrograde. So, the day of their stationing, pay attention to the information or the dynamic at play, maybe even the day before or after, because the planets are super strong then. And they're not, they're humming really loudly. Um, so the information or dynamic that happens that day will reverberate through time. So it'll be something like, oh, yeah, it was that day that I found out. Or it was, oh, yeah, you know, she made me change my mind because I met her that day and whatever. You remember it, it reverberates. So discussing the retrograde planets. I'm going to go just pull up my notes, enjoy the little show because I'm going to look at something else while you're looking at the artwork. Here we go. So we have Saturn, both Saturn and Neptune, your ruler, in Pisces, in your first house of self, physical appearance, personality, and your CV. Now, Neptune has been in your sign since Valentine's Day 2012. And Neptune is super strong in his home sign of Pisces. So, your intuitions and dreams and have been super strong. Um, but the first house is your persona, your physical appearance, your personality, and something idealistic has been going on with that, or artsy. Maybe you've like changed your hairstyles through, or your wardrobe, or jewelry. Maybe you weren't a jewelry person at all, and then you started down jewelry, or something about your physical appearance has since 2012 changed. Where some people who haven't seen you in a while comment like, "Oh my God, I didn't recognize you." But uh, the change also could have been plastic surgery um, or some kind of a regime where you drastically changed. But the thing is Neptune is also the master of dreams, fog, illusion, deception. Neptune rules cosmetics, perfumes, the oil industry, narcotics, um, the netherworld, anything marine related. And, and, and Neptune rules escapes, and especially escape from reality. So, and I don't have to tell you this because you really do understand the energy. But the thing is, some people, when they escape, and it's a feel good escape for most of the time, but when some people escape, they escape so far out into this nether world, this dreamy world, that they don't want to come back or find it really difficult to find their way home. So, God, or the universe in its wisdom, has sent in Saturn, uh, also in Pisces, to set off alarm clocks, um, to teach you how to set up boundaries, to recognize boundaries. The Saturn rings are the rail guards that keep us from falling off the edge. So that's my spiel on how Saturn and Neptune and Pisces are working, but they are now retrograde. And I did mention Pisces is your first house. So the other retrograde planet is Pluto in Capricorn, and that is your 11th house, friends groups, and associations and aspirations. And we talked about that. Uranus is also in Taurus, and Taurus is your third house of communication, commuting, siblings, the neighborhood, um, and the spoken word, your need to be heard and seen. Uranus is the planet of surprise, shock, electricity. It's quirky. Um, so, your third house of communication and commuting is going to go through jarring, shocking, um, electrifying changes. And you might have gotten a taste of that between, when it changed signs this March, April, and up until now. Um, AI may have been involved, or the I'm saying this in my videos. Uranus really scares me. um, you might have sent the wrong text to a person, or something jarring or shocking or yeah, electrifying happened with your communications. Just be careful of commuting because of accidents and so forth, and especially during weather. Um, Storms or such, because Uranus does rule the weather and storms and lightning and so forth. So that is going retrograde. You are going to be reviewing the last few months, and when it stations direct, you'll start making changes in that house. The other planet and the focus of September is Mercury, the planet of information and communication. It is retrograde in Virgo in your seventh house of marriage, partners, and contractual agreements. And we went at length about that in the monologue. And finally, we'll mention the seventh minor body of Chiron in Aries. Aries is your second house of job, income, revenue, money, and your value system, who you will and will not sell out for, and who you find extremely valuable. So that is also going retrograde. Chiron is the wounded healer. That's what they call him, because he had a wound that would never heal. But because it would never heal, he was emulsified in that tragedy, and he was able to heal others through his experience. But he is also known as a very wise and compassionate teacher. Saturn is the strict teacher. Chiron here is a very compassionate teacher. But a lot of people don't know, but he's a sort of a maverick in the zodiac. So yeah, he does things like not like Uranus, like shocking and surprise, but he's a maverick in a way. He does things to his own beat of his own drum. And Aries, of course, is the fire sign and the warrior ruled by the planet of war, Mars. So, something about your job, income, revenue, money, and value system, you are reviewing. Um, you might not be happy with the income you're getting, or maybe your value system is changing. But in any case, that is up, that is in retrograde, and you will be reviewing that. Okay, I am going to stop our show because I need to show you the lineup. Okay, so this is the September lineup, and we'll quickly go through this. On the 3rd, Venus went direct, station direct in Leo, and it is your sixth house of health and habits, routine, scheduling, and service to others. And it does include the house of gossip too. Um, so remember what I said about stationing. So whatever happened regarding this house on that day, you should pay attention. If, of course, it's past, so you may be like, I can't remember. Um, Look up your texts, emails, phone calls. Sometimes, it'll trigger a memory. But in any case, so the sixth house issues will start smoothing out, um, and you'll have answers. But um, Venus just gestation direct, so it's moving very very slowly, and it's still considered in its retrograde shadow. So give it till the end of the month, or the early October before it starts, you know, clearing its shadow and behaving much better. Okay, and the 4th, the next day, Jupiter, the planet of largeness, station retrograde in Taurus, and that is your third house of communication and social media at 15 degrees, and Taurus 35. So it will start. So back in April, when Jupiter entered Taurus, the third house of communication started blowing up for you guys. Um, Things became um, busy in that house. You might have gotten a new cell phone, or maybe started a channel, or maybe a new car, or different car, or you could have had issues with these things because Jupiter just makes makes everything a mountain out of a molehill. Only so it can be taken care of. So now it's going to go retrograde, and you're going to review these items in the third house. The same day, Mercury, planet of information, in Virgo, your seventh house of partnerships, um, trined. This is a soft aspect, but it's a pleasing aspect. It's a good aspect. Jupiter in Taurus, your third house of communication. And this was the second time. The first time it happened, it was on August 9th, and it'll happen again towards the end of the month. So, some information you receive about or for your partners was favorable to your third house of communication and commuting. Maybe your partners helped you get a car or a new phone, or travel or something like that. Um, but yeah, there was a good aspect between these two houses. The 4 days later, the sun this time in Virgo in your seventh house, trine Jupiter in Taurus. So first here you receive the information on the 4th, And on the 8th, the sun said, well, what are you going to do with that information? Do you like that information? Which, you should have, because it's a trine. Okay, and then I really don't mention minor bodies, but I do. I like to do that because whenever they're at 0, 0, they're significant, and some of you may have 0, 0 degrees. So Pallas enters Libra, that is your eighth house of death, sex, death, and taxes. And I explained earlier what it entails. You can rewind and listen to that. Vesta then enters Cancer, and it is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, and gambling. So those are at 0, 0 as well. On the 14th, here we go. And that's in like 2 more days. So in the new moon in Virgo, and it is your seventh house of marriage and partners, contracts, and contractual agreements, House of Mirrors. So pay attention on the 14th and see who or what happens, because it'll be a new start to something, or it can be a new shift to something old. So look for that. On the 15th, the Master Negotiator of Compromises series enters Scorpio. That is your ninth house. Travel, foreign people and places, people at a distance, academia, publishing, the World Wide Web, philosophy, and the traveling mind. And it is at 0, 0. So if you have any issues with these items, series is here to help you negotiate that. And that starts at 0, 0. On the same day, Mercury in Virgo, and this is the third time. Um, Pisces, for you, Pisces, it's your seventh house. Um, will stage. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was getting ahead of myself. So on the 15th, Mercury, the planet of information in Virgo, stations direct. So pay attention to this day and to any news or dynamic. Well, mostly it's news because it's Mercury. Because like I told you, when planets station, they reverberate that information or dynamic through time. And if you have anything at Mercury, 8 degrees, or Virgo 0, 0, or any of these degrees, pay attention. Okay, and but remember, when it goes direct, it's still in shadow. So even things that are agreed upon between the 15th and the end of the month might change. On the 17th, the Venus in Leo, your sixth house of health and habits, will square Jupiter in Taurus, your third house. And squares are hard aspects. And this will be the third and final time this happens. Um, First time, and if you want to know specifically what it's about, first time it happened, it was June 11th. Second time was end of August. And this is the third and final time. Squares are hard aspects or oppositions, but of all of the hard aspects, I love squares, and I like oppositions, because squares really jumpstart anything that's deadlocked. Um, and you want that to happen. So something regarding your health and habit is not going well with your house of communication and commuting. So there'll be a square, there'll be a problem, there'll be a hard aspect where you can at least figure out what you can do here. On the 19th, the sun in Virgo, your seventh house, excuse me, will oppose Neptune in Pisces, your first house of self and physical appearance. Opposition. So something from your marriage house or your partnerships. It does not like how you appear, or is in opposition of what you're going to wear, or maybe you know you you may be flirting or something. Sorry, it is an opposition. See what it is. And remember, I told you the seventh house is the house of mirrors. So if they're opposing or getting angry or sad of how you appear or what have you, it is really a reflection. So try to figure that out. That's on the 19th. On the 21st, the sun in Virgo, your seventh house, will trine a soft aspect Pluto in Capricorn this time. So your 11th house of friends, groups, and aspirations. Um, so again, here, maybe your partner is helping you with a friend or a group, or it can be vice versa. So that the trines are pleasing aspects, they're soft aspects. Many of you may not even feel them, but nothing to be concerned about here. On the 23rd, the sun will enter Libra, and that is your eighth house of sex, death, and taxes. So, partners' income, inheritance, legacies, um, death and rebirth, government money. So your focus will be on that. It is the sun is at zero, Libra is at 0, 0. So and this happens every year at this time. So your focus will shift from your seventh house to your partnerships. Maybe your seventh house is getting all cleared up, and then you guys can talk about intimacy and all that. On the 25th, here is the third and final time for this information. um, Mercury in Virgo. So, information regarding your seventh house of partners will give a pleasing aspect, a soft aspect, trines. Jupiter in Taurus, your third house of communication and commuting, siblings, and what have you. And this is the third and final time. So, again, if you want to know what's going on, the first time it happened was August 9th, second time was September 4th. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I think I did. But just in case some of you are tuning in now, just look up your text emails. It may trigger um your memory on what it is about specifically. And then the last big bang of the month is the full moon in Aries on the 29th. This is your second house of job, income, revenue, money, and value system. This full moon does have some hard aspects, um, and we'll just get down to it. It is an ending of some sort. Um, if you have 6 degrees Aries, or yeah, 6 degrees Aries, or 0, 1, um, or it can be a culmination or a fruition of your past efforts. And I know some Pisces are not happy with their job, maybe, or income or revenue. So maybe you are switching jobs, or you've been working on another job, like behind the scenes to get, and you need to first end this one and go into another one. But in any case, it suffice to say, it is a full of an ending or a fruition of your house of income. That concludes the month. We just have the two future aspects that I wanted to talk about. Um, so in January 2024, Jupiter turns stations direct in Taurus, your third house, and it will trine Pluto in Capricorn, your 11th house. So a good aspect between your communication and your friendship house. Um, Even though it is a soft aspect, but these are two powerhouse planets. Jupiter, the planet of expansion and good luck, and then Pluto, the whole epitome of power and control. So it's a good aspect, though, and see what it's about. But it is setting up something exciting in May. So in May, it'll be a surprise somewhat, because it'll be Jupiter in Taurus, your third house again, will trine, pleasing aspect, Uranus in Taurus this time, again your third house. So whatever happens in your communication and commuting, siblings, a neighborhood, maybe you're moving to a neighborhood, but it'll be a surprising event, and it will be a good event. You'll be happy. So look forward to those two things. And then when we get closer to next year, we'll talk about those more. But Whatever it is, it looks good. Um, Anyway, thank you so much for your patience. And if you found this entertaining or informative, please do give it a like. It does help boost my channel. And then the whole spiel about subscribing. Thank you so much, Pisces, for listening. You guys have a great rest of the month, and I will talk to you in the next set of videos.